Okay, guys, so last night I came into work and it's been a little kind of tumultuous over the last maybe couple months, but really concentrated over the last couple weeks. I mean, throughout the shift, not just where I'm individually concerned, but the thing about that is you want to get to a point where use your time. And I've talked about this on previous videos, the PTO, the wants versus needs, all that stuff. So I was about an hour into the shift and I decided I was going home. That it wasn't for me today, and there's nothing wrong with that. We know ourselves better than anybody, and I know that it probably shocked a few people because my attendance rate is fantastic through the roof. And in that moment, I know that there was a few people that were probably even, I guess, what you might call disappointed by that. But here's the thing, and here's what I told my manager before I left, is I would rather leave and let my absence speak for my actions rather than stay, and even though I stay in control, stay and have something worse happen, and then that speaks louder than my absence. And really, where I came down to that thought is we have to maintain composure before exposure. And that just means sometimes you have to excuse yourself from a situation. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if somebody tries to tell you that, I would look at their motives as to why they are trying to keep you from excusing yourself. If you are going to have a worse go of things by staying, then your best bet is to excuse yourself temporarily. And like I told them, I'll be back. I came back tonight, and that's what I said I would do. I'll be back tomorrow night. But right now, if I'm in my own head or if I'm just not feeling, how things are going on right now, then it's not for me to be here. And we have to really be aware of that within us. We have to trust our innate ability to remove ourselves from situations where sometimes it may not be us directly. Sometimes it has everything to do with the environment that you're in. So you may not be on fire, but if the building that you're in is on fire, still remove yourself from it. Now, if you are on fire, you certainly have a different set of problems to address, but the fact of the matter is, in either case, there's fire, so you have to address it accordingly. So sometimes if it's not of you, remove yourself, even though you have not started said fire. So what are your thoughts on that? I've always prided myself on showing up to work on time, working the full shift, everything else. But I also believe that sometimes if there's something that you're not getting from management or your place of employment, especially as a consistent employee, that something like, I guess if you call it a walkout or whatever, if you do something like that, it grabs their attention. And it certainly did, because before I left, my manager, pulled me off to the side and we had like a 5-10 minute talk. And we've never had that. We've worked together for 5-6 years now, and we've never had that. So I say that to say, like, there's something to be said for that. It grabs people, by the collar and says, you should pay attention to this. If that person's doing that, then clearly something's going on. And it doesn't mean that I'm a special employee. I'm a special person to myself and those who know and love me. But as far as here, I understand I'm just another number. But it still means that we are worthy of protecting our own peace, for one. And two, if we're not getting something from our place of employment and things like that, then we should be standing up and being our own first advocate. I think a lot of people overlook the notion that when people have power over you, such as employers, managers, supervisors, things like that, they're also responsible for your experience in the workplace. So that being said, if nothing was being addressed, at least to my satisfaction, then it was just easy to say, it's time for me to go home for the night. And when I came back today, we're just back to where we were like the day before. It doesn't mean that it was worse. Nothing got exponentially better. But I know for me, removing myself showed that I was at least utilizing the notion that my composure over exposure. I wanted to compose myself, walk out. There was no yelling, there was no, nasty words, bad energy, anything. I thanked my manager for the talk. And then I said goodnight to some people. I walked out, but I did not expose myself to be overly disgruntled, overly emotional, or anything else. It was just that. So hopefully we can hear what your ace up the sleeve is. Workplace, the workplace is a hard place to be because we are obligated to be here to make money, to pay our bills, to feed our families. And so sometimes I think we give it just a demigod-like power over us, but we don't have to have that. Especially, I left and I was still paid for it because I had PTO and sick time, things like that. So sometimes that's what those days are for. Rainy days, sometimes come in different forms, and so even in that moment, it was worth it to take it. So ace up the sleeve, advice, comment, experience. Would love to hear what you guys think about that. Share the content with your friends. Subscriptions are free. You know all that spiel if you've watched any of the videos. And as always, I hope this finds everybody in a place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.